Hey guys, Todd here. Today we're going to install the M Series XT cover from Roll & Lock on this Jeep Gladiator. Now I'm going to go over what to do whether or not your truck is equipped with a trail rail system. This is also a similar installation to other Roll & Lock applications. For this installation, I'll be using the Allen wrench included in our kit along with a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver and a number 3 Phillips head screwdriver. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so with your Gladiator, if it came equipped with the trail rail system, you would have an extrusion that goes right along here on the bulkhead bar. You would want to take that off first. It has 4 bolts that hold that in place. Just go ahead and pull those out and discard that rail. Next, we're gonna go to our next step, which is installing the bulkhead flashing. What we're gonna wanna do is peel away the protective coating. All right, now from this point, if you roll it to the bottom, you're gonna see some automotive grade adhesive tape. We're gonna peel some of that back. It's important for you to also know that I've already wiped down this whole surface with rubbing alcohol. That is what you need to do to prep that surface before you would apply the adhesive. But all we're gonna do is from each corner on the inside, we're gonna peel a little bit of that back. Let's lay that to the side for right now. We're going to the outside. And do that on both ends of our flashing. All right, now I'm just going to fold that to the side. This is what it's going to look like when you're all done. The bottom piece, the shorter piece, is going to be able to pull out from this side, and this is going to be able to pull out from this side. Do that on both sides as a mirror image. Next, what we're going to do is lift it up and set it up against the bulkhead. Make sure the tape pieces are coming out to where you can grab a hold of them. And set it in place on the bulkhead. Then we can go ahead and peel off our tape pieces. And peel it away from the top. Apply pressure to make sure you get a good bond. All right, now in your kit, you'll also get a couple of self-tapping screws. Those are optional. Where they go is in these holes on the flashing. You got one on each side. That is only to be used if you're not getting a really good bond. We've got a great bond, so we're not gonna use them, but if you had like a spray-in liner that was making the bond not so great, then you could also back that up with the self-tapping screws. Next, let's go ahead and install our side channels. Now, if your truck came equipped with a trail rail system, then you've already got a C channel going on right here, and just leave that there and skip this next step. If your truck did not have the trail rail system, then your kit will include a couple of C channels, one for this side, one for the opposite side. And that C channel is going to have 4 oval holes, and those are going to line up to 4 holes that are already here with threads behind them from the factory. You're also going to get some large M6 screws with a Phillips head. I'm going to use a number 3 Phillips head screwdriver and line all these screws up. Before I tighten anything down, I want to have them all lined up. Let's start on this end. Okay, now with all 4 of them lined up, we can go ahead and tighten them down. Repeat the same on the opposite side. Okay, in your kit, you're also going to have a couple of threaded blocks per C-channel. Now, those are going to insert into the C-channel. Do 2 blocks per side. Okay, now before we put our canister in place, we first want to seal off this corner. If you notice on the top of the bulkhead, there's a little bit of a depression right here that goes all the way through, so we want to seal that off. In your kit, you're going to have a couple pieces of caulk strip. What we're going to do is pull that apart, and we're going to work that up into those gaps to create a seal that way. Now that is definitely moldable with your fingers, so you're just going to shove that up in there and mold it like putty. We're going to do that on both sides. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is place your canister on top of your bed caps, have it pushed all the way up against your bulkhead, and make sure it's centered from side to side. Then you want to go ahead and remove your canister lid. The way you do that is you kind of push it forward and then it comes right off. Then you're going to reach in and grab a hold of the latch and turn it to the 10 o'clock position. Okay, now here is our max track rail. The track is going to be on the top side. We're also going to have this aluminum portion right here that's going to be facing towards the cab of the truck. And you also have this large channel. This is actually what the cover is going to ride back and forth inside of, so that needs to face to the inside of the truck. So next what we're going to do is line it up to the canister and slide it in place. Okay, now as it approaches, you're going to notice that this notch inside the rail is going to line up with this part of the canister. So once you get that lined up, go ahead and slide it into place. Make sure that the cover slides into the channel on the rail. Bring it all the way up to where it meets the canister. Make sure your side seal goes off to the side. All right, now where the rail lines up to the canister, there's going to be a slight hole that also lines up to a hole in the canister. What we're going to do is we're going to take one of our machine screws that has the thread locking compound on there. We're going to slide it into the hole. And we're going to take a flag nut out of our kit, line it up to that machine screw, and use a Phillips head screwdriver, tighten that down. All right, now we're going to go ahead and gently close the tailgate and then take the rail and slide it back to that tailgate. And that's going to bring the canister back just a little bit as well. We want to make sure it's nice and tight against the tailgate. Now we can go ahead and attach the rail to the C-channel. Okay, we're going to start at the rear side of the truck. Underneath the rail, we've got a bracket that's hanging down right over top of the C-channel that we installed. Now we've got our threaded block that we're going to line up. Take out of our kit, we've got an Allen head bolt with lock washer and flat washer. It's going to go through there, and we are going to get that tightened down into that block. We've also got an included Allen wrench to tighten that down. All right, now we're going to do the same for the bracket next to the canister side. All right, repeat the same steps for the driver's side rail. All right, now you want to go ahead and measure the distance between your rails. You're going to measure at your front clamp location and also at your rear clamp location. You want to come up with 49 5/8 inches. You also want to make sure your rails are level. Now, in your kit, you're going to have some shims. You'll have spacer shims and angle shims. Every application is going to be different, and refer to your instructions on how to install those shims. But just so that you know, on this application, we had to use an angle shim at the front and a spacer shim at the back. All right, next we're going to go ahead and lubricate our rails. In your kit, you're going to have a bottle of 303 Aerospace. I'm just going to apply it into a microfiber rag, and then wipe down the inside of the channel. And do that to both sides. Okay, next what we want to do is go ahead and take our latch and turn it to the 7 o'clock position. And underneath here, we're going to see that we got a wing nut that actually attaches the strap to the canister. We're going to pull that wing nut off and discard it, and we can release the strap from the wing nut. Now we're going to go ahead and pull the cover back towards the tailgate. I'm going to let it latch into this first latching position. Next, we're going to take the canister lid and then set it up on top of the canister. Okay, once the canister lid slides back, it locks the front into place, and we can line up the hole in the front. We've got a small rubber washer and black Phillips head screw. I want to thread that in there and tighten it down with a Phillips head screwdriver, and do that on both sides. Okay, this is our canister guard. Now, I've already gone ahead and peeled off the protective coating. You're going to notice on each side you've got a round hole at one end and a oval hole on the other end. The oval hole is going to go to the bottom, the round hole is going to go to the top on the canister. What you're also going to have in your kit is some large rubber washers and some silver Phillips head bolts. What we're going to do is run that bolt through the hole and put it into that rubber washer. Now it's going to be kind of a tight fit, so to get it kind of seated in there well, you can actually even take your screwdriver and just kind of turn a little bit. That'll hold it in place. Do the same on the bottom. Now once we repeated the same thing on the opposite side, go ahead and take it up to the canister. All right, now on your canister on each side, you're going to have a couple of threaded mounts. What we're going to do is we're going to lift up our canister guard, line up those Phillips head screws to the threaded mounts, and tighten them down with a Phillips head screwdriver. Repeat the same on the opposite side. All right, now with the Gladiator, there's plugs in different locations. I usually like to do the one right in front of our tie-down cleat because it's just open and perfect size for the drain tube, and I don't have to drill any holes through anything. Then I'm going to go ahead and take and run this up to our downspout. Press it in place, repeat the same on the opposite side. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online.